So, useless skills here. Today we're doing a different video. Sorry for the somber tone, but it's not that serious. It's pretty serious, but it's not that serious. So today we're going to talk about prices of streaming services and how they're crazy expensive now compared to just last year, actually, like not even that long ago. So, yeah, let's talk about it, and then I'll tell you, the reason. Well, let me start with the reason. So, right here, this is a good, The Verge has a good, I would say, list of stuff that's been happening with streaming services. So that's why I put this up here. So this is why streaming, Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max keeps getting more expensive. But it should add all, just streaming in general, because all of them are getting more expensive. So streaming services just keep creeping up in price, right? Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Apple TV Plus all announced price hikes this year. This was from November 29th, by the way, of last year. Just so you know. Which means we're forced to have to pay more money to keep up with the shows that are actually relevant, like Andor or Stranger Things. The truth is, this trend isn't going to stop, and how right Emma Roth was. Anytime soon. Streaming services need to raise their prices or embrace advertising if they want to meet investors' expectations. Ooh, how right she was. They're just going to have to risk losing subscribers who don't want to pay these jacked up prices along the way. So, now, I don't think we've gotten to the point where this is like the end of this is going to get to, which I will get to, but it involves, Johnny Depp and an eye patch, if you know what I mean, right? Matter of fact, I'll say it. I don't care. Pirates of the Caribbean. So, let's go. Right? So this is from November of last year, right? Since then, Paramount Plus raised its prices next month. This is May of this year, right? May 22 of this year. Correct. Yeah. So Paramount Plus on June 27th of this year raised its price from, it ad-supported essential plan of $5 to $6 per month, and its premium plan of $10 to $12 a month. Previously, Paramount Plus had two separate premium plans, one without Showtime for $10 and another one with Showtime for $12. But Showtime and Paramount Plus kind of came together, so you get them both together now with the $12 a month one. So that went up. Peacock prices going up in August, and this was in July 17th of this year. And there are more streaming services choices. There are more streaming choices than ever before. And now Peacock has joined the list of services that are getting even more expensive. On August 17th, the cheaper premium plans going up by $1 each month from $5 to $6. And the premium plus package that gets rid of the ads, which is the one that most people want, especially myself, on most content and ads downloads for online viewing with the access to live local NBC channels is going up by $2 from $10 to $12 a month. So basically the same as Paramount Plus. Peacock and Paramount Plus are playing this dance because they are the service that somebody either has or doesn't have, right? It's one or the other. You either have Peacock or you have Paramount Plus. But I don't know anybody that has both, right? Besides me, because I'm crazy. But yeah, this is basically the dance that they're doing. And Peacock adds 2 million subscribers just ahead of the price hike, which is crazy. And that's by July 27th. On August 9th, Disney Plus and Hulu are about to get even more expensive. So Hulu's no ads tier will run for $18. Disney Plus will cost $14. And the ad-supported ones for both of them will remain $8. Now, that's interesting how the ad one didn't change, but the other ones did. Let's keep going, because that keeps happening. It's time to rethink our relationship with streaming services. We're going to get there. Starz is lowering the price of its annual subscription, unlike everyone else. Starz is actually losing subscribers and has been losing subscribers for a long time. They had, I think, a lot of subscribers for Power and not a lot of other stuff, even though there's really other good shows on Starz, but Power was really the main driver that I heard of whenever somebody said something about Starz. It was really Power that they were talking about, and now so I don't think that's there anymore, so subscribers are dropping. What else? You can get 3 months of Disney Plus for just $6 right about now. But After that, Disney, Hulu, and Paramount Plus are all discounted for a limited time. That's great. AMC Plus, which is crazy because I don't know anybody, not even me, that has AMC Plus. I don't know who has it. Anyway, AMC Plus is getting an ad-supported subscription tier. And again, the ad one is less. So the plan will cost $5 a month and provide users access to the same content library as the $9 a month ad-free version. So why would they add something to a subscription service that barely anybody uses? And it's actually the cheapest one, or cheaper than most of the other ones. I wonder why. We'll get there. What else? Netflix is planning to raise prices again. Surprise, surprise. The ad-free version of Discovery Plus is getting a price hike. Great. Here comes Netflix with another price hike. This is October 18th, so very recent now. Apple TV Plus is getting a price hike, and other Apple subscriptions are too. I'm not going to go over each price hike, but basically they all went up, right? And that's one price's subscription. So, I love that she highlights this. So there was a moment in 2019, right, when streaming services were one heck of a deal. Apple TV Plus was free. I remember that. I got a new iPhone. Apple TV Plus was free. And if you bought any kind of Apple device, right, you had it for free. You could get Disney Plus for $4 a month and lock that price in for 3 years, which, if you did it, you're smart. Hulu lowered its price to stay competitive, and you could share your Netflix account with as many friends and family members, roommates, and exes as you'd liked. Those days are now far, far behind us. This year alone, all of the major names in streaming, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, and Peacock have raised their prices. Netflix's most expensive plan has officially crossed the $20 threshold, and other services are steadily headed in that direction. The price of streaming is at an all-time high. So, streaming services keep getting more and more expensive, and all the latest prices increases, right? So this details, basically everybody that's raising the prices, but it's basically all the streaming services. So you're going to see this trend from now probably till either the end of the year or next year. But the cap I'm hearing, or I'm thinking, is around maybe $35 to $45 for the ad-free version of any of these services, right? Now, in that battle, I assume enough people are going to unsubscribe to, again, the lower tier, like Paramount Plus, Peacock, all these stuff, all these things, because they're going to basically either merge into one service, or they're going to offer their stuff on the other services, right? So Paramount Plus, let's say, is bleeding subscribers, losing people, but their ad tier is okay. So they'll basically lose some of their content to Netflix or to Disney Plus or whatever, like the other big name, HBO Max, whatever it is, so that they can basically run their programs but get, money from them, So it's like, hey, HBO Max, if I give you, what does Peacock have? Or Netflix, right? Netflix, if Peacock want to give you Netflix, not Friends, what is it that they have? The Office. I want to give you The Office back. You guys can have The Office on Netflix from the month of November all the way till next November, and you'll pay me this much a month for this, or the contract will be this much or whatever the fuck. So that basically is how they're going to do it, as opposed to, again, just shutting down and completely just merging with either Netflix or HBO Max or some other service, because at the end of the day, they're not all going to survive. So the reason that they're all trying to get there, though, and Netflix is racing to the top, because Netflix, unlike a lot of these other places, so like you have HBO Max, who now is owned by a different company, and they have I think it's Discovery Plus with them, but initially basically they have other revenue. HBO Max, like HBO, has had other revenue coming in besides just entertainment. And that served or helped, they also have a studio and all sorts of stuff, and they make movies for movies where they make money and all the other things that basically make them money, right? So they have other avenues of revenue besides the streaming that they can stay afloat by, but as well as streaming, obviously. Then we have Apple, which is out of all of the things. It might be lower on the streaming tier. Like, not a lot of people have Apple TV Plus, even though their shows Their movies, I don't know, but their shows, oh, top tier. Like I think the best show, Ted Lasso, Severance, which is like my favorite show now since Breaking Bad, which is saying something because that is top tier. These are top tier shows, like that. I feel like everybody, you watch any of their shows, Foundation, Shrinking, any of their shows, they're interesting, they're fun, they're new, they keep you engaged, So, I don't know. I feel like in quality, Apple TV has it, right? Definitely in quality. Quantity, not so much, but that's because, Netflix has been around forever, so they have the biggest library. Whereas, and HBO Max has a very varied library, very varied things, so that's why they compete a lot. But either way, and then Disney Plus, has Disney, so they have a bunch of stuff. But either way, my point is, it's like Apple has, obviously the giant tech branch of selling phones and computers and, tablets and headphones and watches and now VR headsets eventually. So they have all these things that are making the money that doesn't have to do with streaming. And then the second biggest, or I guess, I think Apple is the biggest, but the second biggest is Amazon, right? So Amazon also has the giant, machine of selling that is just Amazon, which is the website, and Prime, which is the subscription service for its, content, is not its main, revenue source. So they combined can make a lot of money and spend a lot of money on things, useless things, like the Lord of the Rings, show, and lose, but also, technically gain in notoriety because people know their name. So, and they can take risks and chances that other services really can't. So that's why I said at the end of the day, they're really going to lose out. Now, and also they come with different things. So the Apple, Apple TV or Apple Plus One, right, comes with like Apple Music and Apple News and I think Apple Arcade. So you can get all these bundles up with Apple TV Plus, and that's a good like subscription for somebody that, is very Apple oriented, has Apple devices already, and wants to stay in that ecosystem, that doesn't want to lose that service, so they'll probably stay with them while they drop like a Paramount Plus or a Peacock or whatever. And then if you have Prime, you definitely are already using it. It delivers to you, whatever, all this other stuff. Now, Prime, Amazon, surprisingly, I didn't see it here, but Amazon is going to, or at least they said they're going to, have an ad tier. So they're going to add, or basically you're going to start at the ad tier. So anybody that has Amazon Prime right now, I think it's like $8 a month or something like that, you're going to be automatically enrolled into the ad tier version of Prime. And if you don't want ads, like when you watch, The Boys or Gen V now, you're basically going to pay for a premium service, Amazon Premium or Prime, Amazon Prime Premium, whatever it's going to be called. And that's basically going to give you access to the same shows you already have, but without ads. And they're raising that price to probably $10 or $12, like basically a little bit more than the $8 or whatever it is that Amazon Prime is. So, but again, you get all these services. So most people are probably going to, as we saw with Netflix, when Netflix announced that they would have an ad-free tier that they didn't have before, and they announced that they would have, and then also they announced that they're going to stop people from sharing, passwords. So all these things that were supposed to be Netflix enders, subscription enders, Netflix is now thriving, whereas they were dying before, now they're thriving. Because ads, as she mentioned in that article before, is how they basically promote to their investors, which sucks because that means that all of your streaming services, not just the tech ones like I mentioned, Apple and Amazon, Netflix is technically a tech service, but I like to think of it as, because it's mainly makes its money through streaming, so it's like not really in my head a tech giant, but technically it's a tech service. So, but the way that I want to think about it is, the way that I want you to think about it is, you're now beholden to the market. So if the market, like basically right now, Netflix was losing money right before. They were losing. They weren't getting any subscribers because most of the people are either already subscribed or had somebody that was subscribed and they were sharing passwords. And they had the ad-free stuff, right? So then they added the ad-free they added the ads, sorry, and they took away password sharing. And so you'd think they would stop there. No. Then they raised the prices, and then they're going to raise the prices again. And like I said, they're going to continue to raise the prices probably until $35 or $45, because $35 or $45 a month from enough people on the free subscription equals one or two of the ad, subscribed people. So even so they don't want you to have the ad free version, is basically because they don't make any money. They're not selling you anything, so they're not making any money. And the whole point of the service is to make money, right? So enough people being subscribed, that is already not enough money apparently, right? So even if they have millions of people, right? Let's do the math, right? So they have, let's say, Netflix has around 247.2 million paid subscribers worldwide, right? So this is globally, 247.2 million. So now, 247.2 million, and let's say that, even though this is not true, but let's say that is $7, right? This is accurate. This is March 2023. It's $7. Probably not even accurate. Whatever. Let's say it is $7. So now, they are making $1,730,400,000 a month, allegedly, right? And that's just with the ad tier. That's not even the $20 one, the premium one, right? So they're making even more money than this. And that's not enough, right? So they obviously get, for each one of these subscribers that are ads, these $7 ad things, so they're not only getting your $7, but they're also getting, I don't even know how much the cheapest, but let's say the cheapest ad that you could buy on Netflix is $10,000 or $5,000 or whatever the hell. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can look that up too. Let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I can't believe that. That's insane. That is insane. That's crazy. Okay, so ads on Netflix are going to be expensive. With limited choices for advertisers, Ad Age says prices may start at $20 million for a year-long commitment, and advertisers can't choose shows, only genres. So there you go. So they're getting $20 million in ads from advertisers. Basically, like, if I'm, I don't know, UPS, I'm paying you $20 million for you to pump Netflix full of UPS ads, right? So that's insane. On top of, again, I'm not the only advertiser. So, and that's also on top of the billions of dollars that they're getting from the people. So it's never enough. This is the sad reality of a company that fucking starts in America and lives in America. Capitalism sucks. Anyway, I'm diverging into other things. The point is, because these things are beholden to board of directors, trustees, people that run the market, right? They want more money. It has to keep growing, up and up and up. Stocks have to keep going up. Can't go down for some fucking reason. Well, not for some reason. Obviously, if it go down, people lose money. But the point is, it can't even stay level. It has to go up, right? So in order for it to go up, we need to squeeze more and more and more money out of a service. And to me, that kills the service. But the way that most of these services will survive, again, I don't think that Netflix will survive long term, but for now, whatever, it's alive. Most of these services survive, right? Based off of the other services that they provide. So Apple will survive because they will always be selling tech. Amazon will survive unless something comes to dethrone Amazon, which I doubt it. And all these things will continue to live, and their subscription services will continue to copy off of smaller subscription services, which Netflix technically, like I said, is the biggest one, but it's smaller than an Apple or an Amazon because this is the only thing it does. I think now they're selling games, I think, as well, but basically their main drive is the subscription service. So Apple can outright buy Netflix if they wanted to, right? Amazon can outright buy Netflix if they wanted to. These are things that are going to become more likely later on in the future. There might be a partnership that they might come to, but ultimately they're double its size, right? And all of these smaller streaming services as well, because entertainment used to be you pay a cable subscription, right? And the cable subscription then pays, the people, like Peacock, was NBC. So NBC would be paid by Comcast or whatever it was, whoever it was that was releasing their content, plus whatever ads played during that content, because ads were just playing because it was TV. They're trying to take us back to those TV times because advertisements sell products and companies want to sell products. And on top of them wanting to sell to you, the gateway is through your entertainment. And the only way to survive for these entertainment companies is to sell ads to you. So that's going to continue to happen where they're going to try to corral as much people, right, to the ad-free version, to the ad version. So the ad versions of all of these services you're going to see, like you saw with Peacock, like you saw with Apple TV, like you saw with AMC Plus, they're going to stay the same. Or maybe raise $1 or $2 or whatever, till whatever people are willing to pay, probably $10 or whatever, is like the max cap maybe for like an ad tier version of a subscription. But they're going to raise the roof on the ad free. I'm talking all the way probably up to $50 a month for free, ad free, whatever service. Now, you're going to see a lot of churning, which is basically people switching from one service to the other, depending on what month it is and what, they want to watch. Oh, this month they're going to have this kind of movies here. I'm going to go, subscribe to this one, delete this one, not pay for that one that month. Basically that, which is good because that's something that you couldn't even do back in the in the cable days, where you could basically choose your channels month to month. It was either choose your channels now for the year or the contract or whatever it was, and those are the channels you're stuck with. And now basically you get to choose, you yourself as the consumer get to be like, all right, well, this month I'm paying for HBO Max and I'm not paying for Peacock or Paramount or Apple or whatever because I'm paying for this, right? So now you can basically do that. But most likely what most people are going to do, to be honest with you, and now that it's a lot easier to do than it was back in the day when you had to torrent and download things and you might get viruses on your software, now it's just literally stream stuff from some server somewhere that's not in America. But if you have access to the internet, you have access to these servers, right? And that is what it unfortunately is going to happen, which is going to kill these services. Now, again, I'm not advocating for any of these things. I'm just letting you know what I predict will be the outcome of these things. Most people, because back then as well, it was the advent of technology, right? And a lot of people didn't really know how to, even back then people stole cable, right? They took their neighbor's cable somehow and got cable or whatever, right? So even back then, they were tech savvy people that were, that had to go around and actually climb towers or go into walls or drill holes or get wires or whatever to do these kinds of things, and they still did it. And now that it's literally just a button away, a click away, it's a lot easier to Pirates of the Caribbean than it was before. So I feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate more towards that, and that's going to hurt the bottom line for all these services. And again, these services, they need that money, right? The millions, billions of dollars that they're making to also pay for the creation of these things, right? The creation of the entertainment that we enjoy. So it's a big, it's a swing dance, I guess, it's a balance. It's a careful balance that we're playing with these things. And I feel like they continue to stack chips against the consumer, and the consumer is going to find a way to, get ahead, basically, because at the end of the day, there's other things that they have to pay for that are necessities of life that are also, again, climbing very high, not just in America, but all around the world. And I just feel like not enough people are understanding that, like I'm not saying, hey, be the streaming service that could, and be the little man, be there for the little guy, stay at your low tier price with your low stuff. But again, I feel you can do these things if you have the quality, right? If you have the good content, it doesn't matter the price. People will pay it, even if the price is, lower than somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, or at least they'll keep you while they also pay for someone else. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like these Paramount Pluses, these Peacocks, these, Discovery Pluses now with HBO Max, so they're not really that small. But basically all the lower tier services, Shudder, Stars, they have to basically bunch up into one pack or try to stay at a competitive price to continue to survive. Because at the end of the day, and then again, obviously deliver quality content, because that's the most important thing. This is where it's headed, right? So again, I'm not advocating for piracy. I'm not advocating for doing things that aren't legal or nothing like that. I'm just saying that people want entertainment and they'll find a way to get it, and I don't want stuff to go back to the way it was, where people are losing money and not paying their actors and their directors and their writers, and basically not paying for good entertainment because they're losing money because they got greedy. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, this has been a whole rant. If you got this far, that's great. Thank you. Sorry if I got off the rails a little bit, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you agree, right? What I'm going to try to do as well on this channel is monthly go over what's coming up next month, to see if you guys enjoy it, and basically be like, hey, this app or this streaming service is going to have this and this and this coming up. It's going to lose this and this and this, and this app is going to have this and this and this. So you guys can choose which ones you want to do. So it's kind of like I'll call it the churning event, and that way you guys can just churn instead of doing naughty things. You guys can just go from having this service to this service to this service to this service, depending on what you enjoy and what is coming up and what's leaving, right? So yeah, I'll call it the churning event. That's a good idea. Alrighty, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know if you like the idea of what I want to do for the future of the channel, or future segment of this channel. And let me know what you guys think about what I've talked about today, and the state of streaming and how it's affecting you guys. Anyway, so you got comment down below. This has been another useless skill.